Chapter 33. Oh, Yolanta. Yes, Yolanta. Don't stop. Go deeper. Pascal covered his eyes with his forearm and moaned. You like that? So good. That's your ileocecal valve, the sphincter muscle that separates your small and large intestines. Feels good when I rub it, huh? She bent down and kissed him fully on the lips. How about when I give it a little flick like this? Pascal's eyes rolled back in his head and he groaned in deep pleasure. He was laid out on an operating table with a midline incision running vertically down his abdomen. The table hummed quietly as it maintained the synaptic infusion field it immersed him in. Yolanta stood over him, kissing the sensitive parts of his face and neck, her left arm cradling his neck, fingers playing with his curly locks, her right hand stuffed in his belly, up to her wrist. Good heavens, he murmured to her. You have the touch of an angel. Oh, my. Her eyes flashed with excitement. And what's this I've found? Who's this wee little chap dangling about here? Oh, so cute. Is it my appendix? Yolanta propped herself up and looked into his open midriff. It is, my love. And what an impressive organ it is, too. Can you tug it a bit? Go on, oh, that's it. Bit harder. Oh, go on. They kissed again, tongues flicking, nibbling on each other's lips. A wet squelch as Yolanta pressed her arm further into him. Oh, that is deep, he moaned. Yes, it is. And you are so hot and wet. Pascal's eyes opened wide in orgasmic surprise. What's that? Oh, I think I'm going to... Yolanta smiled and gave him a quick kiss. Only my eyeline, dear. Forgot it was on that hand. Incoming call. Through his spasm of delight, Pascal managed to throw her an offended glance. Why haven't you turned it off? I have, except for this particular call. It's important. Security update. Won't take a moment. Then we can carry on. Yolanta pulled out and wiped her vibrating eyeline with a cloth before answering the call. The projected head of a middle-aged woman swelled up above them. The Deputy Director at the Office of Security's Counter-Espionage Division. She was about to speak, then paused as she took in the scene before her. Oh, I'm sorry. Perhaps this is a bad time. Are you all right, sir? Fine and dandy, Shadwell. Unable to sit up, Pascal remained stretched out on his back. Now, what do you want? My apologies. It's just that the Executive Vice President asked me to keep you both updated on this operation. She said you ought to be kept in the loop. Well, do stop dithering about and get on with your brief. It's like you've never seen a man's duodenum before. Of course, sir, right away. The Deputy Director gathered herself. The offshore negatives. Yes, Yolanta nodded. What news, Shadwell? Any sign of the second agent? The one who is en santé? Still at large, ma'am? Pity. We traced her to a metastasis provider, Inflorescence Incorporated, but lost track of her. Did you get my report about the cluster? I did, yes. There was a surviving Padmotech. Disciplinary action has been filed, likely to lead to dismissal. We're just waiting to process a few critical documents. Good. Far too many loose ends, as it is. We expect to regain possession of the offshore negatives shortly, the security director said. Our recovery plan is proceeding as discussed, ma'am. Our forecasts appear accurate. Promises, Shadwell. Yolanta shook her head. Time is running out. We need this to be resolved before the board meets at the World Economic Symposium in a few days. Retrieving the offshore negatives is paramount. Are we clear? Yes, ma'am. Understood. Was there anything else? Asked Pascal. The deputy director looked down at his open abdomen. No, sir, that was all. Fine. Happy hunting, then, Pascal said, and entered the call. Yolanta, my petal, Pascal said with a knowing smile. A standard monitoring program would suffice for this operation. I can see that beautiful mind of yours doing beautiful things. What's all this about? The World Economic Symposium. Feel free to give my pancreatic duct a massage while you explain. She took a breath, then sunk her hand into his viscera again. The metastasis session at Wes, with the rest of the board. I know. Most disappointing. Pascal sighed. This is not the time for compromise. Weak leadership. Without a doubt. But I think we can make it work for us. Yolanta twisted her lips and looked away. I'm not happy leaving things to chance. Darling, if you're thinking about intervening in the metastasis session, need I remind you how tight the security is? Yes, but she mumbled her mind elsewhere. Oh, careful. That was a bit... ow. Oh. You see, my love, if we retrieve the offshore negatives before the metastasis session, then it's possible we could use them to... Yolanta paused. All the colour had drained from Pascal's face. Oh, are you okay? Dunno, feeling sort of, Yolanta shook her thoughts away and looked at what she was doing. Ah, I see, that's your spleen. I thought it was your pancreas. Maybe don't squeeze quite so hard. How's that? Better? Oh, my dear. That is absolutely delicious. Don't stop. A bit faster. Anyhow, Yolanta mused, the intervention I have in mind is purely speculative at this point. We need to secure the offshore negatives first, and I need somebody I can trust to oversee their retrieval. Consider me at your disposal. Pascal, you are as reliable as you are inviting. Good God, I'm almost up to my elbow. So deep. I'll brief you on the recovery plan we've devised later. But in the meantime... She froze and looked into his eyes. Well, hello. And we know who this is, don't we? Yolanta leaned closer and rubbed the tip of her nose against his. All the way down here. Yes. Oh, what a shiny, round kidney you've got for me, Pascal. I think it wants a little rub. And if I just pop this fold of ilium in my mouth too.